You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
That's true. That's true. I'm not going to argue about it this time. We can just go straight into the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if you said, it's false.
That's fake news.
Today, we're going to be talking about two Doctor Who serials from the past. I mean, they're all from the past, but this is from the past of our present, if you know what I mean. Right?
What?
Well, we're currently in the 6th Doctor era, but we're going to be talking about two 2nd Doctor era serials. The Faceless ones, which was the 8th serial of the 4th season of Doctor Who. We're like in the 20-something season. 23rd, I think. So we're going back to the 4th season with the Faceless ones, which consists of 6 episodes that aired from April 8th, 1967 to May 13th, 1967. There was a reanimation because the episodes were missing. They animated it and released it March 16th, 2020. And we're also going to talk about Fury from the Deep, the 6th serial of the 5th season, which consists of 6 episodes that aired from March 16th, also March 16th, that's weird, 1968 to April 20th, 1968, and was animated and released on September 14th, 2020.
True facts!
I want to give a special shout out to Matt Golden for sponsoring this episode.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
Golden!
You can check him out at MatthewGolden.net. And yeah, we're talking about the 2nd Doctor because the next episode we're going to do is the 2 Doctors. And there was 2 2nd Doctor serials that have been animated that we hadn't watched.
We wanted a little bit of a 2 refresher.
Yeah, it seemed like perfect to do that.
Do you feel refreshed?
Sure. I actually remembered both of these. One of them more well than the other.
One of them because of trauma?
Yes. And well, because I think it's a really good serial. The other one I remember, but I don't think it's that great. It's okay. That's the first thing I want to talk about is how well did you remember them before we rewatched these?
I had a much bigger memory of Fury from the Deep than I did the Faceless ones. The whole time we were watching the Faceless ones, I was like, okay. Wait, no. What is this? Okay, yeah, okay. Like the whole time. Fury from the Deep, it was kind of like, oh yeah, this part's coming up soon. I love this bit.
You know what's even weirder is that the fact that like you remember the one that's completely missing better than the one you do that had 2 existing episodes.
It was like watching that serial again for the first time. I swear to you.
I went and I made GIFs to compare to the ones that we had already made based on existing stuff. And for the Faceless ones, there was a GIF. It was the shot with the chameleon, and it like rises up and he's like sitting there and you only see him from the back on the like hospital gurney. It was back during a period of the podcast where I would share quotes that we said. And you had said the chameleons are the worst classic Doctor Who villain or monster.
I said that?
Yeah. You said they're the worst Doctor Who monster.
Why?
Probably because they're boring. I don't know. But that was the quote attached to that GIF.
Like because of the way they look or because of the way they are? That's what I'm curious about.
Don't know. I didn't listen to the podcast. I only looked at your quote.
Okay.
Would you say that again?
I mean, the thing
either
is,
interpretation?
A lot of worse things have come since then. It might have been true at the point, like up until that point. But at this point, we've had eye boogers, so...
Well, you specifically said classic Who,
yeah.
I think, so...
Here's the thing, I can't remember what they look... Do we see them?
In the episodes that existed, I do not think we did see them, no.
Okay, because I remember kind of seeing them in the animation and being like, well, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Is that what they looked... Did they look at all like that in the thing? I feel like if they looked like that, kind of like zombies they got like vertical eyelids. I'm like, I feel like it would have left a bigger impression if there was like some real monster makeup like that. And I think that might have just been an animating choice.
Yeah, I know for a fact that when, they turn off the thing and they melt in the animation, in the original they just disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
They did not melt. There's some liberties taken there. That is a weird thing is about the Faceless ones is that it's a 6-parter. 2 episodes existed, but they animated all 6.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay,
because here's the thing: they've done this before, where they've had like missing episodes and existing episodes, and they only animated the missing episodes. This is the first time that they've ever done an animated reconstruction where they animated existing episodes.
It's a marketing thing.
It's a dumb idea.
The idea between making animated serials isn't so much like, we're going to try to create something that's as close to the original as possible so you can experience it the way it was originally was. I mean, it's a lot easier to sell a whole serial. You're going to be able to watch it from beginning to end the same way. Like, a lot of people aren't going to want to, like, stop and then watch the real one and then go back to the animated one. Especially, I know you're not most people.
Why would you want to watch a admittedly kind of cheap animation over something that has moving people in it? I don't understand. Like, with Shada, they went back and forth between live action and animation in the same thing.
I mean, I think it's just to have a sense of consistency. Also, you could sell it on air. Like, I know they won't sell the reconstructions in syndication. They won't.
The animated ones?
Yeah. Anything that doesn't fully exist, it's not available for syndication at all. Because they don't want people to see the show on TV and think that it's animated.
I don't think people are that stupid.
You ever run a Facebook page for a service for the public?
That's fair. But still, I feel like that's money that could have been used elsewhere.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the animation?
Yeah.
In terms of quality.
Yeah. Considering that they spent it on 6 episodes when they could have only spent it on 4, it is still, out of the 2, the better animated one. It's more fluid. The animation's a lot smoother.
Also, the models are better.
Honestly, I think it's because they look more cartoony.
Yeah.
They look more angular and stiff. And like they're trying to look too much like the people in the Fury from the Deep one.
In Fury from the Deep, yeah.
Yeah. But in the Faceless ones, the animation's a lot smoother and rounded and cartoony.
I will say, Jamie looks angry. Jamie looks nicer in Fury from the Deep than he looks in the Faceless ones.
He looks nicer. Worse, but nicer.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look annoyed
he
as much.
He has a permanent scowl in the Faceless ones that I don't understand.
I don't either. There's some problems with both of them.
The biggest problem is that, like, it would be great to see Doctor Who animated like a proper Doctor Who animation where, like, actual thought has gone into the animation as opposed to the thought of, like, what's the cheapest way possible to do this? It would be nice to see, like, some beautiful space.
Even the 2 Doctor Who things we've had that were animated on purpose.
Or, like, very, like, old school Flash.
Yeah. And that weird 3D CG thing with the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, it would be nice to see something purposefully, beautifully 2D animated. Doctor Who, please. I mean, I get it for the reconstructions.
And I'll take these over watching pictures, the telesnap things.
But it would be nice to see. Just made me think about it. Something to think about for the future. BBC. Just think about it.
I was confused too, because I thought they were doing a lot of 2nd Doctor ones because I figured like, we'll just
use the same models.
Use the same models, but it's clearly 2 different animation studios who've done this.
Yeah. I think the thing that really bothers me about the animation is like any small moments, especially of like a reaction, you know, where it's like a close-up and an actor gets to react to something. When you're trying to animate the cheapest possible, it's just like, boy, we are on that man's face for too long because there's no subtlety.
Yeah, specifically in the Faceless ones, there's the scene where I don't remember her name. Not Zoe is what I keep thinking of her as.
Victoria.
No, not Victoria.
Oh, no.
I think her name's Sam, maybe? She's the one whose brother's gone missing on the plane.
Oh, yeah. I don't know her name either.
Her and Jamie kissed twice. But there's a scene where she hugs him, and this is in an existing episode. She hugs him, and he puts on like a grumpy face, but then like smiles right at the end. And in the animation, that smile is gone.
There's we don't have enough money to animate subtlety. It's just gone.
And like, I think the Faceless ones has the better animation. I think it looks good. But like when you compare it to the original stuff, which exists, they've made weird choices, I feel like less good choices. And sometimes it's like, I don't know why you did that. It would have been easier to do it to mimic what was, well, not even money. Like, I feel like it'd have been cheaper to do it They throw in zooms where there don't need to be zooms.
Oh, I guarantee you that's covering up something then.
Yeah, that's possible. They swap sides.
My
for
favorite
no reason.
thing that they did was it's a Fury from the Deep or from the Faceless ones. Now they both melded into one thing. Where's the one where they're actually in space?
In space? Neither. Oh, that's the Faceless ones when the airplane goes into space.
No, it is Fury from the Deep. It's not in space. It's the base is what I'm thinking of. My brain was just like, the spaceship. It's not a spaceship. They've just decided that a guy is in a wheelchair, I think partially because he doesn't move from behind his desk except for once. Yeah. They're like, I'm not drawing a whole dude just so he can move one time. Yeah. So instead his desk moves with him when he moves.
Yeah, because there is an existing shot of that, because Fury from the Deep doesn't exist at all, but it has some scenes that exist, and he's in one of them, and he is not in a wheelchair.
Although I will say, there was definitely a conscious decision in Fury from the Deep to make the sort of background actor characters more diverse, which on the one hand is very cool,
but on the other hand they're like fodder.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, it really calls attention to like the whiteness of the existing cast. It's almost more awkward to have all of the silent diversity who don't affect anything. Yeah, who are fodder, who are quietly, silently there, almost calls more attention to it.
They occasionally scream when they get grabbed by tentacles. That's about it. Or weed, rather.
I appreciate the sentiment. There's thought there, and I think that is nice. I don't know. I can't tell how we feel about the execution.
I think it's an easy enough, because like you can't do it with the main characters.
With the main cast.
Because that would be weird to do to the people who originally did the roles, you know? But like, that's a place to put it, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. I don't know.
It's nice to see some thought put into it in that direction. I'll say that much.
Other additional things that they've added in is both serials have wanted posters for the Master. One of them only has the Delgado Master, but the Faceless one has the Delgado Master above a poster for the newest Master. The Master for the 13th Doctor. I thought that was a neat little thing. But also, it's in there a lot. And it's like a little distracting. Yeah. There's some other stuff they've thrown in. I think there was like one seaweed tentacle thing that the helicopter flies away from. And in the animation, there's like 70. And in the most infamous scene in Fury from the Deep, the one that exists that I fucking hate, it's the scene where they breathe on the woman and it's Oaken Quill and his mouth opens and it's terrifying and I hate it. They add in like waves, so it looks like gas is coming out of his mouth.
Genuinely, this is the first time I realized that that's what he was supposed to be doing. And it was just scary to be scary.
I think it's better with just his mouth open.
Oh, yeah. I mean, watching the animation, though, was the first time I was like, oh, they're releasing gas. That's how the gas gets there. I thought it was coming up from the foam this whole time.
Well, it does a little bit, I think, but they're wrapped in the weeds.
Yeah, so they can get more of it at once. It's not as creepy, but it's the first time that it clicked for me what was happening.
Yeah, then the animation for that, like in the original, it zooms all the way into his mouth, and then it like crossfades between their two mouths.
Oh my god.
But in the animation, it zooms to a close-up of his face, not on his mouth, just on his face, and then it's hard cuts. And it's like, you're losing some of the artistry there. Can you not do a crossfade? Is it impossible to do a crossfade in animation? It's a piece of art, as much as I fucking hate it.
You were getting tense, too. Not even that episode, because it happens in the second episode. At the end of the first episode, you're like, it happens in this house to this woman. Is it happening now?
And anytime they play Oaken Quill's, like, music, because they have a piece of music associated with them that, like...
Oaken Quill is such good... I like villain duos, and Oaken Quill is a good villain duo name.
I did think it was interesting that... I can't remember which one's which. Quill is the silent one, right? I can think it's a little hilarious. He still gets a credit, because he's not...
He's not in the animation.
He's not in it, technically.
They cut to him a handful of times. In scenes where he's where he's not being scary, and he does this creepy smile, and I'm like, I feel like the animators also only remember him being creepy with his mouth in Fury from the Deep. Like, because there's just a handful of scenes where it's like, we're acknowledging these two characters because we think they're people, and then Quill will always just do this weird, creepy, open-mouthed smile.
Yeah. He looks like a giant rat or something.
Yeah, there's something weird about the way they've drawn his teeth.
He's got big buck teeth or something. it still manages to maintain a creepy vibe. Because here's the thing I'll say. I think the Faceless ones is an alright serial. It's kind of boring. It's mostly just people talking in an airport. They go to space for a little bit and come back. But it never, like, doesn't do anything tremendously exciting.
No.
Even when it shrinks people. It's one scene, and that's it. But Fury from the Deep is so fucking good.
Yeah, that was my big takeaway, was like, I forgot how. I'm like, the thing I remembered about Fury from the Deep was your reaction to
Oak
that.
and Quill?
Yes, your reaction to that scene. That is what has stuck with me about that episode. But watching it again, I was like, oh, this whole thing is solid. It hangs together real well. Especially since we had just watched Faceless once, and that was kind of a slog. It's like, we're going to be in this airport forever.
Also, both serials are companion exits. And the Faceless one is handled poorly. Ben and Polly disappear after episode 2, show up briefly in the last episode, long enough to say goodbye. By that point, you've pretty much completely forgotten about them. Whereas Fury from the Deep, the whole serial is building up to that departure.
They're just missing from it. It almost feels like it was written...
They were specifically not written into episodes 3, 4, and 5. They filmed their exit.
So that they could wrap them early?
Yeah, they filmed their exit, like, in the same block that they did the first 2 episodes in.
I mean, that makes sense from a production standpoint, but it's so unemotionally satisfying. And they don't even, like, the way that they get written out is supposedly they got, like, taken by the bad guys, but you don't see it. And you see Polly, but you don't see Ben. When they're like, well, we still have to find Ben, because they find Polly, and then like the next scene, Ben is just with him, and it's like, did he get taken? Or did he just, like, fuck off and get a hamburger, and he's been at McDonald's this whole time?
I don't know, it's bad. It's not great for Ben and Polly.
I was happy about it, because I was like, oh, that's right, Ben's in this one. Ugh, we're gonna have to watch another serial with Ben in it, and then he wasn't in it, and I was like, nice. And then he left. Nice. But yeah, the Fury from the Deep, Victoria spends the whole serial kind of being like, wow, it sucks that my life is constantly in danger. Maybe I'm not about that.
And there's, like, so many, like, small character scenes about it too.
Yeah.
Like in that one where it's just her up at night talking to Jamie about it, and that's like one scene that's actually beautifully animated. They got that, like, purple.
Oh, the lighting
rim.
in it is really good. Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. That's like the best animated scene in the serial.
I will ask you though, because it's in color.
Yeah.
And you were very grumpy about it, but that scene wouldn't have been so pretty if it was in black and white.
That's probably true. You're probably right. I didn't mind watching it in color. I'm a purist. You
want to watch it in black and white and 3-4. 4-3.
4-3. You work in TV. Come on.
The reason why I stuttered on it is because I was like, I couldn't remember which number went first.
And you're like, it's got to be numerical, right? Numerical order.
Numerical order. That makes sense. We have done so much bullshit this weekend. My brain is fried.
What was I gonna say?
See, it's fine. We didn't bullshit at the top, so we can do it now. I want to explain why my brain is jelly.
Go for it.
Usually on the weekends, that's when, like, we've been running, and so we sleep in. We got up at 9 a.m. all weekend. We built bookshelves. It was just like we just ran from one thing to the other. So we just finished the bookshelves. As soon as we finished the bookshelves, we left to go to do some birthday stuff, a friend's birthday, and then I had a friend come over here. Everybody's gotten their second shot, and so it's like, not that we've been around too many people, but it's all been socially distanced and stuff. But it's just been a lot, and a lot of like I said, the shelves. A lot of, like, manual labor. We mowed the yard. I've never had as productive a weekend as this weekend.
Past few weekends have been busy.
I've been busy, and now we're doing this. So that's why I can't remember things like 4-3. I've used up all my brain.
Speaking of the Fury from the Deep, and there's 2 things I want to talk about real quick. One's bad, one's good. Let's do the bad first.
Okay. Let's
talk about the animation of the characters in Fury from the Deep, specifically their arms.
Why are they so long? Everybody has big old long noodle arms. Like they got pool noodles in there.
They do.
What's happening?
I don't know. They look fairly normal except for them giganto arms.
They have those giant arms. was very distracting. As much as we were like, oh, Fury from the Deep, that was a good cereal. The whole time I was like, why are they like that?
The animation was worse and their arms were... The animation wasn't terrible. I don't want to say it's bad.
It's the level you'd expect from a
it just wasn't
animated
as
reconstruction.
It wasn't as good as the Faceless ones.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. I wish they'd swapped. But then again, if that angular style had been used on Faceless ones, I might not have been paying as much attention as I did. But yeah, we couldn't figure out if it was their arms
or
their waist was too high.
There was something not right, and it was wrong on everybody. I will say the other thing about the Faceless... I think it was the Faceless ones. No, it wasn't. No, it was.
3-4.
There are two characters in the Faceless ones who look near goddamn identical. The inspector, or the cop, or whatever. Is it the Commandant? Who is the other one?
I don't remember. You're talking about Gascoigne?
No, Gascoigne dies. Which is the greatest name, by the way. Inspector Gascoigne. I love it.
He's the one with the pipe and the glasses.
No, Gascoigne dies in, the opening.
Does he?
Yeah. Gascoigne is the one who dies, and, that's the body they find. And then the other guy comes. Gascoigne is a name of, literally just naming things you see and being like, yeah, his name is Gascoigne. That'll do.
So there's there's the inspector that comes in. He's got a pipe and glasses, and then the other guy's the head of security or whatever at the airport. Or what? He's the head of something at the airport.
Yeah.
And they look virtually identical.
It's a real name I've just been making fun of, by the way.
Speaking of... It's a real name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it was.
It just sounds so made up to me.
Remember stair cars?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it car stairs? Stair cars. I don't remember. The guy from War Games. But speaking of identical, those two guys look alike. They're based on real people, so those two people must look alike. But every fucking cop in the Faceless ones has the same face, different colored hair, but the same damn face.
Come on. You could have used the same models for different side characters instead of putting them right next to each other. And especially when those characters start dying, you're like, oh no, one of the interchangeable clones.
Fury from the Deep gets away from that by adding something that wasn't in the original. For its security guard background characters, they have a shield over their face, which is not in the original. That's a decent way to save some money.
I would rather have that than see the same face 4 times.
Though, remember that scene in the Faceless ones where Jamie and the doctor are pretending to look at newspapers while spying on people? Yes. And Jamie is holding his upside down? But in the background, the store clerk guy has the creepiest...
What is he doing?
I don't know. He's got this smile on his face.
That is the sound his face makes.
It was very creepy.
Not only is he doing that the whole time, but he's moving too much to be in the background.
And not naturally.
Yeah, in a way that I don't trust.
While creepily staring at nothing.
In a way that I was like, he is masturbating behind that camera. That's what's happening behind them. It's the only explanation.
It is. It's the only explanation. The other thing I want to talk about Fury from the Deep, because we talked about how boring the Faceless ones was. Fury from the Deep, I just want to talk about how great it is on every level.
Okay.
Because, one, great companion exit.
Yes.
It's built up and earned and good.
I will say, we have a complete lack of those.
We've had a few good ones, like Ian and Barbara. Susan kind of has issues with it. But everything else has been kind of... we don't want to pay that actor anymore. We already fired them. Bye. I think that's why, too. I think a lot of it has to do with the BBC being kind of shitty. Well, I think Jamie and Zoe's was heartbreaking, but was fine, I guess. I don't know.
They made that suddenness work.
So yeah, the whole serial is just very well constructed. It feels like a movie. It's creepy. It's funny. And it's sweet and touching. And also meta. It turns the, Victoria screaming trope thing into a superpower, which is kind of amazing.
Especially for her send-off.
Yeah. I can't believe how so many, different layers and levels are, just so beautifully interwoven into, this one thing. You know what I mean? It's just a really well put together serial.
I will say too, as far as it being creepy, the fact that its creepiness sells so well in the like stilted animation style of the cheapest animation studio possible, that's like a testament to it, you know? The fact that guy just opening his mouth real wide still reads as the creepiest thing Joe's ever seen in his life.
I fucking hate it.
There's a lot of eeriness to this one that I was surprised at how much is still in the animation. Because I expected it all to be kind of gone. Especially when you're dealing with like creepy, slimy stuff. Where I'm like, that will all just feel kind of goofy in this animation because everything's so stiff. But it still sells.
Yeah, like when I say it's worse than the Faceless ones, I don't mean it's necessarily bad. It's still effective. But yeah, like all of the weed attacks are really good. When people get pulled down by the weeds, you're still like, oh shit. Though it was a little awkward when like Jamie's hanging from the window.
And you're like, why did he get up there?
Which I think was in the original. But also like there's a scene where like the doctor and Victoria run up and see him and go, oh no. And then they run outside and then just stand there for like 10 seconds.
What was that original scene? It couldn't have been that.
I don't know. But they're like, what do we do? And they just stand there for a second and they go, oh, let's run up these stairs. It was very weird.
It's like a really long time of them just standing, and it looks like they're not even staring in the right direction. It looks like they're staring away from him. And the doctor's just going, Jamie! Oh no, Jamie! Oh no,
and Jamie's behind them. It doesn't make any sense. That was probably the worst part of that scene. Like, there's definitely clearly bits where you're like, the animators are like, I don't know what the fuck to do here. It's just noise. I just have noise to go on. So they gotta be doing something. It was fun seeing the helicopter loop-de-loop, though.
That scene cracks me up. Because the doctor just being like, I thought you couldn't do that.
It's such a good serial.
It's not animated much better than it was in the reconstruction that we watched.
No, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a good serial. Like, it's so good that even, like, the limitations of the animation don't hinder it. Even their, like, gangly arms.
I do think the helicopter ride was the moment that, like, the seed of 3 was planted.
This is where he gets a taste for just having multiple vehicles.
He flies a helicopter and he's never the same again.
That's probably true. I think that's all my thoughts on them. Do you have any other thoughts? Would you recommend them?
I would 100% recommend Fury from the Deep to anyone. Especially if you have somebody who is hesitant to watch the reconstructions. I would recommend Faceless ones to somebody who isn't hesitant to watching reconstructions, who like wants to see the ones that don't exist. I would recommend it. It's not, I wouldn't start anyone off on this one, but if you're completionist and you want to see it, this will get the job done. The one side female character whose name we can't remember.
I want to say Sam.
She's very cute.
She feels like a Sam.
You just think, she just seems like Sam from Road Trippy.
So I think her name is Sam, though. I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
You might be right. But like, she's really fun. She has great chemistry with Jamie.
This was also like one of the first Second Doctor Jamie episodes, I feel like, where they like fully like were in character, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the part of the bummer is it's like you should seek out that existing footage because they're part of the thing that makes
over each other.
Yes, part of the thing that makes them so cute is they're like so touchy. And that's not in the animation. Even just them, like, that one shot of them, like, walking away, I don't know, to go do something, but, like, in the
original podcast, you said it felt like they were on their first date.
It did! And in the animation, it's just them, you know, just two people walking down a hall, and it's like, well, that's not as good. Yeah, it's not, like, it wouldn't give you, like, a good feel for their relationship, because all that little stuff is gone. Like I said, all that, we don't have the animation budget for subtlety. But if you're gonna watch, if you have interest in it, it's worth a watch.
I would definitely recommend Fury from the Deep. But I'd say if you do watch Faceless ones, skip the animated episodes that exist. Watch the existing episodes. They're all, if you have the DVD, they're on there. Just watch the animated ones for the missing ones and watch the ones that exist. Just watch those.
I wanted to say that I missed Foam.
Yeah, Foam's good.
I posted that somewhere, that I had a hot Doctor Who take. Foam is better than goo.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take for sure.
Is it too spicy for you?
It's a little spicy for me. I don't know. Goo is pretty good. And also it's more...
Foam looks fun and goo grosses me out, so...
Well, yeah, but it's like, what do you want out of it?
Yeah.
Do you want fun? or do you want scary?
No, I want the doctor. It wasn't this cereal. Where's the one where he's just like fighting through the...
It was one of the Ice Warriors ones.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Seeds of Doom, I think.
It just looked adorable.
They do fight in foam in Fury from the Deep, too. Like, when they arrive on the beach, that's the first thing they do is have, like,
have a foam fight.
Have a foam fight, which I read somewhere was not scripted. They just did it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, foam would be better to play with than goo. But I think goo is creepier if that's the effect you're going for.
I guess. I don't know that we need so much of it. Maybe we could have a little bit of foam as a treat.
Let's have some. What about goo and foam?
All right.
A mixture.
I don't know about that.
It's like foam with a gooey center.
Oh.
All right. I think we're done with this. Talking about this. Bye. Yeah.
What?
Fuck off.
That was just the end. Anyway, I think we're done with this. And then nothing.
Bye. Now, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back, not for final thoughts, but for something else I want to talk about. You'll see that this will keep you sticking around to the ad break.
What a great tease you just did, Joe.
Yeah. I'm good at teasing.
I am.
Are you appropriately teased?
I am rock hard. No.
Nice.
I am filled with anticipation.
Look, we gotta talk.
Yeah, Thunder Talk.
We're going all kinds of sideways with that sweet nerd junk.
Woke nerd junk.
It's topical.
Political.
Dare I say radical.
We've got all your latest news and reviews.
Hot music.
And a whole lot of comedy.
But it ain't for kids.
Definitely mature content.
So let's talk.
Let's talk Thunder Talk.
Thunder Talk is a proud member of the ESO network.
And we're back. Tony, do you know what time it is?
What?
I said, do you know what time it is?
It is.
We're not doing final thoughts.
Oh, so then I don't know what time it is.
Okay, well,
you have to tell me.
Here's what I'm going to do. So I want to do a little trivia.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, you stuck around for trivia. Joke's on you, fuckers.
Why are you so antagonistic today?
I don't know. You thought you were going to get something nice, and it's just going to be me listing off facts. Joe facts! Okay.
My God.
I don't know. I love you. Anyway, here we go.
In a mood.
So, there are 97 missing episodes.
Are you going to list them?
Every episode, one by one. No. There are 97 missing episodes from 26 serials. So there's 26 serials that have missing episodes.
Okay.
Out of those, 30 or 31 episodes have been animated from 10 or 11 serials. Mission to the Unknown was unofficially animated, and then they recreated it semi-officially. I don't know if you'd count that, but I don't think you have to animate it again.
Is there a point to this?
There is a point to it. I'm getting to it. The first Doctor has had 3 or 4, counting Mission to the Unknown, episodes animated from 2 or 3 serials if you're counting Mission to the Unknown. So he's only had 2 serials finished.
Okay.
That leaves 40 episodes from 9 serials. So he's got 9 serials left that need to be animated. The second Doctor has had 27 episodes animated from 8 serials. So he's at 8 serials finished. That leaves 26 episodes from 6 serials.
Okay.
So he's only got 6. The Doctor has 9. Out of those,
yes,
I want you to tell me which one you want to see animated next.
Without even looking at the list you've provided me, Marco Polo Mythmakers. I mean, swap that order, but those two.
Okay, well, I want your top one from the first Doctor and your top one
Mythmakers
from the second Doctor.
Mythmakers for the first Doctor.
Yes, because there's Marco Polo, The Crusade, Galaxy 4, which has Chumblies.
I did like Galaxy 4.
Mythmakers, Dalek's Master Plan, The Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, which I like. The Celestial Toymaker, which is not as good as you think it should be.
Yeah, the Celestial Toymaker is like, that character, that's going to be great. And then that serial is not fun.
It's not. The Savages, which is fine. And the Smugglers, which is meh.
Yeah,
the Crusade would be the easiest one to do because it's only 2 episodes missing. But yeah, I would also pick the Mythmakers.
The Mythmakers are so good. It's such a good serial, and I want other people to know how good it is so bad because it doesn't exist. So, I mean, a lot of people don't watch the ones that don't exist, which is fair. But it's so... if it was animated, that's all I would talk about. Is like, oh my god, everybody.
Go see the Mythmakers.
Everybody go watch Mythmakers. It's such a good serial, and now it's animated, and now you can watch it.
I think Mythmakers, Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, solely for that last scene where the Doctor's alone in the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah.
God, that's so fucking good. Galaxy 4 for Chumblies, and Marco Polo is just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The rest of them I can give or take, to be honest. I mean, I'd want to see them. Like, I don't think the Daleks Master Plan is ever going to be animated, because it's way too fucking much.
Too much.
If they did, though, I would say go ahead and tack on Missions of the Unknown, since it's kind of the prequel to it. But so for the second Doctor, here are the 6 serials.
Okay.
The Highlanders, which is Jamie's first.
Yeah.
The Underwater Menace, which has the mad scientist fellow and the fish people.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Evil of the Daleks, which is the first one of Victoria. It picks up after the Faceless ones. And it's the one with the good Daleks. The Abominable Snowman, which is the first appearance of the Yeti.
My fuzzy chicken nugget boys.
The Will in Space, which I think it's the first appearance of Zoe, and I think it might be Zimmerman. I don't remember.
I think I really liked Wheel in Space, but I'm not sure. I don't actually remember.
And the Space Pirates, which is not great, but it has Milo Clancy.
But it has Milo Clancy in it. My God, we love Milo Clancy. I think out of that list, I remember really enjoying The Underwater Menace. That mad scientist is having a lot of fun.
There's only 2 episodes missing in that as well, so. And
it would be nice to see Milo Clancy animated. But I think, for me, I think it's between The Underwater Menace and The Highlanders. Just for Jamie.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the Highlanders, I don't think Jamie's Jamie yet, so.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't mind it. I'd like to see Evil of the Daleks, because I think it's pretty fun. Because it has the Doctor riding on top of Daleks. I want to see Yeti just because I like the Yeti. I think that serial is possibly a little racist. But, I don't know. I just like them fuzzy chicken nuggets.
It's a solid design.
I want to see Milo Clancy too. just animate the Milo Clancy scenes.
Yeah, you don't have to do the whole serial. Right? It's not that good.
So, but there's only 15 serials left. Is
there a Big Finish that just follows Milo Clancy?
There should be. I don't think there is.
We need to get on that.
Hey, I'll write it for you. It's so weird that the Space Pirates, which you expect to be like Space Pirates, is mostly about a space cowboy. Yeah, but I just wanted to see what your picks were. Thanks for sticking around for this pointless segment.
That joke very aggressively introduced. You berated everyone, so probably nobody's still here.
If you are still here, stick around, because maybe we have plugs. Toni, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yes, I do. So I've been teasing this for a while because I didn't have a release date. But finally, The Unseen World is available everywhere. It's available on, it's called It's Real Good TV, and that is an app you can get like on your Roku, you can get it on your Apple TV, you can get it basically anywhere that there is like an app to watch TV, you can download It's Real Good TV, the app. If you're not an app person, you can go to watch.itsrealgoodtv.com and you can stream it there. And it's both seasons of The Unseen World, season 1 and season 2, which I just finished. And they're up there and ready to stream, and we get analytics data from the streaming service, which I'm very excited about because the type of station that we are, the type of network that we are, we don't get Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
And so, like, to get analytics on my show, I'm, like, very pumped. But at the same time, I'm like, everyone you just stream it in the background. Just pick a computer and just run it. I need some good numbers. So yeah, I'd appreciate it. If you've been wanting to check out The Unseen World, but have been having trouble like finding the Heartland app or any of that, we have had people from the show actually call in and ask because we switched over our apps. I've been pushing the show a lot, and we basically have changed over in preference of It's Real Good, which has all of our networks content on it. Because we have Heartland, we have Retro. So there's also like a lot of really good, like if you like classic television, there's a lot of retro programming on there as well. Unfortunately not Doctor Who, because streaming rights are expensive.
But there's also like More Than the Music, which we've both worked on as well.
Yeah, we both worked on more, and so did Matt.
Yeah, Matt Golden. Hey, thanks, Matt.
Golden!
If you like me talking about things, binging things in their entirety, like we've been doing here with Doctor Who. I am co-hosting another podcast called Legendary Forces with Nathan Laws. Nathan Laws is the main dude behind that, who he's been a guest on this podcast many times. And we're doing all of Star Wars, the movies, the comics, the books, the whatever. So we're doing that. It's should be dropping sometime soon. I'm not sure when. So keep an eye out for Legendary Forces. You can follow social media everywhere. It's Legendary Forces. On top of that, for the Dip, DIPP, I've been writing articles, and I've just started this new series where I am watching every comic book, TV show, movie, serial, web series, television commercial, whatever that's based on a comic book. I'm watching them and talking about them. My first article went up. There's over 10,000. I made like this ridiculous spreadsheet combing through Wikipedia and IMDb and all this stuff, and it's in chronological order from 1941 to present day and a little bit into the future. But I did the first article, which I talk about the 1941 serial, The Adventures of Captain Marvel, which is about Shazam, not Captain Marvel. There's a whole legal rights thing, I'm sure some of you probably know.
Did you talk about it in the article?
I talk about it in the article, yes. I talk about that, and I talk about the first couple of Superman cartoons, the Fleischer cartoons from 1941. I basically cover the whole year. And I'm going to keep doing that until that becomes impossible to do so, because at some point it's like 500 entries per year. So that's like, there was like over 500 for 2020. And that's got to be a slow year because of reasons. So I don't know. I'm dumb and stupid. I'm never going to be able to finish this thing, but I'm doing it anyway. So check it out on thedip.com. The Comic Completist. Check those things out if you like me talking about things from the beginning till the end, which I like to do. Tony's just staring at me like I'm an idiot.
You're just a fascinating person. I mean, I'm very proud of you. I've been enjoying the things you've been writing for the Dip, but y'all got to see this spreadsheet. It's not humanly possible, you know.
I mean, it is. I did it.
To watch it all, I mean.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You're purposefully taking on an impossible task.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
If you want to go even further, I'm also watching all of the, reading and watching all the secondary material connected to Doctor Who on our Patreon. I've been a little slower on that. I need to pick back up. But for our bonus episodes on patreon.com/watchathon, you can get bonus episodes where I'm going through older Doctor Who stuff like the comics and the big... Well, I haven't gotten to Big Finish, but I have some... I'm going to be doing some Big Finish soon. And I did candy cards. I'm stupid.
When do you sleep?
I never sleep. That's my secret. But if you like this episode of the podcast, you can check out more on Watch-A-Thon.com. And if you'd like to help us out even more, you can leave a review on iTunes.
It does special iTunes magic.
And also, you get free candy if you do it. I don't know. That's weird.
That's a lie. Don't lie to these people.
No, totally. You get free candy. I don't know. It's in the iTunes terms and agreements or whatever.
You will not get free candy. You will make it easier for other people to see and find our podcast. And we will appreciate and love you for it.
And you'll appreciate that free candy.
Stop.
You can also become a Patreon patron at patreon.com/watchathon. Or you can sponsor an episode by purchasing a DVD or Blu-ray from our Amazon wish list at watchyourassilon.com/support. We'll mention you on the podcast and put your name on our Friends of Rassilon page. Speaking of, special thanks again to Matt Golden for sponsoring this episode.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
Golden!
Check him out at MatthewGolden.net. And I also want to give a special shout out to Vincent E.L. for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Yeah, thanks, Vince.
You can check out more of their music at soundcloud.com/VincentEL or vincentel.bandcamp.com. And tune in next time when we get back to the 6th Doctor and the 2nd Doctor when we discuss the 2 Doctors with special guests Ben Patton and Christine Cherry. Until next time, keep calm and wrestle on.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
Beware the weed.
It's a flying beastie!
But I was always under the impression that you couldn't loop the loop in a helicopter.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.